Moving day is a huge moment for a family. The stress can add up, especially for kids who may not feel they have control over the situation. Zane Block is a realtor, father, and now author who wrote a book helping kids navigate big changes like moving. The book is called Percy the Goose and the House on Bluebell Bend. Zane, thanks for joining us.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Yeah, tell us about the book.
So it's about a little goose named Percy that helps children through big moves and stuff. And there's a family called the Parker family that's moving into a new house, and a girl named Emma that's having problems moving in and stuff. And he just kind of goes in and lets her know that she's not alone, that her feelings are big and moving can be really hard on kids, and just kind of helps walk her through until it's time for him to leave, when he realizes she's got it and she's good now.
Yeah, really a unique perspective, because we all know moving really is no fun most of the time, but I think maybe not really considering how our little ones feel about going through this big transition. And this is something you can relate to on a few different levels, being a realtor, a father, and now writing this book. How do those different roles kind of come together to help with this book?
Yeah, being a realtor, I've seen it time and time again being very hard for kids. And being a dad, we moved into a house last year, and I noticed how hard it was for my daughter, and just how many emotions she was going through.
You said she's 4, right?
Yeah, she's 4, and noticed how many emotions she was going through and how it affected her. And I realized, being a dad and a father, or a realtor, that we don't always realize how big this is for kids. For parents, we realize all the logistics of moving, how much is it going to cost, where are we going to move, and that sort of stuff. But for kids, it's much more than that. They're leaving everything they've known. Sometimes it's normally their first move if they move, and stuff, and it's just really hard for kids.
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a fun title, Percy the Goose and the House on Bluebell Bend. What is that? Where does that title come from? And I guess the theme of the book, how'd you come up with it?
It took me a few months to come up with everything, kind of going back and forth, and I wanted to have a goose, and I was trying to think of different names and had to look online a lot, to see, okay, is there goose stories out there? Are there names of, and one I really wanted to do was Gus the Goose, and I realized there was already a big story with Gus the Goose, and I was like, well, I can't do that. So I thought about it, and I was like, I really like the name Percy.
Okay.
So that kind of came together, and I just wanted to make it a little longer. It's a longer title than normal, but it's like, I'll just add in the house on Bluebell Bend, because that's the road that it's on in the story.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I added that to it.
I love that. Now, does the story itself, does it give tips to families and little ones? How does it help with that process?
Yes, in a way. It just kind of, like I said, it's a goose that helps a child named Emma that's moving, and just kind of is there for her every step of the way through her new move, and just lets her know that she's not alone and that somebody is there listening to her. And he gives her gentle nudges throughout the story, just letting her know that he's there for her and he will help her along the way.
Yeah, and again, we talked about this earlier. When we talk about helping kids adjust, this can really apply to so many other things, not just moving, right?
Yeah, I think it can help with a lot of things, and I'm actually working on a second book, and I think it's going to be about a kid that moves but going to a new school. My wife's a 3rd grade teacher, and so it's like I'll kind of add that in there, and I think that's Percy's goal throughout all of these books that I'm going to do, is to help children and help them feel a little less alone through big changes, big moves, and really just anything that they're going through, whether it's a move or their feelings. Because one thing I've learned being a dad is that kids have very, very big emotions, and you never know what they're going through, all the time fully, because they don't know how to express it. And so I think this story just helps to let them know. So that's really why I wrote it, because if it can just help one kid feel a little less alone through a big move or a big situation, that would be great.
Absolutely. A great idea, because that's just another added component. If you've got to move and you've got to switch schools, that's a big thing for our youngsters. Okay, before we let you go, Zane, where can we get the book?
You can get it on Amazon. You can either look up my name, Zane Block, or you can type in Percy the Goose and the House on Bluebell Bend, and it'll pop up there.
All right, perfect. Like I said, really great idea, conversation I'm sure so many families can benefit from. I appreciate you waking up early with us,
Yes,
Zane.
thank you so much.
Yeah, we're back right after this.